Here's something disturbing I just saw in my garden. If you can see, there's a hole in the ground there. So do I have a gopher, a vole? Something has made its home down there. To pay attention to that. Hey there, Pet Plant Girl here. Well, I'm back from one trip and I'm headed out on another one. This one will be shorter. I've been gone for 4 days and I'm just out here. I had a quick peek through last night, but I had somewhere I needed to be last night. So I haven't had a really good look at the garden. So I thought I'd bring you along. We'll have a good look through things. And I wanted to start here at the Brussels sprouts because I had cut the tops off of them. I think the first year I've tried doing this, I cut them off a couple of weeks ago. And I think they went from being just barely anything on the stem of the plant to being blown out. But I haven't had a close look yet, and I thought I'd bring you along for that close look. So let's bring you in really close here. I have Jade Cross and Long Island Brussels sprouts. I just have 2 plants, and we'll have a really good look, and maybe I'll be able to find some Brussels sprouts to eat. Maybe they're too far gone. We've had really, really hot weather off and on in the last little while here, so for Saskatchewan anyways, in the 30 to 35 range Celsius, with a few cool days and nights sprinkled in amongst those. But yeah, I don't think the Brussels sprouts are happy. So let's have a look. Like I said, I cut the tops off of these a few weeks ago, and they had just little nibs on the sides of the plants when I did that. And now there's sprouts here, but I think they've gone, just blew out. They didn't really form up well. Most of them feel kind of soft. So we'll have a look in here. I'm going to pull some of the branches back. I'm just going to break the branches off. And see what's in here. It's a little tricky to see in here because I have celery growing in amongst them. But so you can see these have been eaten. I haven't netted my Brussels sprouts, and I think I sprayed them once with BT, so they've definitely had some munching from the cabbage worms. Okay, so what are we dealing with here? Let's have a look. Actually, they don't look as bad as I thought they would. Let's get you in really close so you can have a better look. There. I might actually get a few Brussels sprouts this year. The top ones are blown. I don't know if I should break them off or leave them. Bottoms actually look quite good. So I'm going to have to do a bit of research. I don't really know what I'm doing with the Brussels sprouts, but I'm going to have to look a little bit more into this and see what I should do, if anything. I should be taking all the leaves off, leaving them, or if I should take these top off maybe to produce more in the bottom. I don't know. Let's see if you peel back a few leaves what these look like. And they're not huge, but they want it to be big. You see what I'm doing there? I don't even see a worm or anything. I expected this to be full of the caterpillar moth thing, worms. Huh. That's interesting. It smells good. Okay, so there's another plant over that way. Let's have a look at it. This one looks like it's in rougher shape. I don't know if I can get you a good view of it. Yeah, you can see here these top sprouts. Like, I broke the top off, but then it just shot up new sprouts. Pretty sure this is the Jade Cross. I'll have to look on my map in the house to know. I wonder if I break these off, because these just went like, maybe because it was so hot. Oh, there's a worm in that one. See that guy in there? Oh, fell out. Maybe because it was so hot right after I cut the tops or something, but the other one didn't do this. So these were sprouts that were forming on the sides, I think. And they just completely blew. Now I could probably make soup or something out of this, but I'm not going to. There's another little worm in there. There's that little guy there. So that's the cabbage moth worm there. So there are more sprouts down the sides. There's more that are blowing. I don't know how well you can see these down here. There are more down, but they're not looking like they're doing anything. In fact, you see, as soon as they start to put on size, I don't know how well you can see that one there. They're just blow right out on this plant. So I'm not sure what's going on there. But this plant looks promising. So that's good. Maybe I'll get some Brussels sprouts. These feel firm down here. Interesting. Okay, so definitely no Brussels sprouts yet to eat, but there is some promise in the one plant, so that's good news. Now I have apples that I need to pick, tomatoes that I probably need to be picking, maybe some more peppers, and I found some dried black beans laying on the ground when I wandered through here earlier, so I need to pick some of these by the looks of things. I think there's probably some zucchini squash that needs to be picked. So I have some things to pick. We'll make some into supper tonight. And yeah, oh, and I have some exciting squash news. Exciting to me anyways. So I'll show you that as well. The insects and the birds were out in full force this morning. Okay, let's have a look down. We'll move down the garden a little bit. So my Goodland apple is ready to have the apples picked on it. I have a few drops on the ground right now, so I'm going to pick those up as well. But first, remember that Renegade Pumpkin that I cut when it was all green there a few weeks ago when I was trying to cut back some of the powdery mildew branches? Well, it doesn't show up on camera very well, but it's actually quite orange. It's just been sitting out here on the side of my bed, my raised bed here, where there's actually some wood underneath it, so it's not rotting on the bottom, and just sitting out in the sunshine and coloring up. But we're going to be getting quite a few more really hot days here, and it was hotter while I was gone than I expected, so I'm going to pop this back so it's not sitting right out in the blazing heat all day long. I can still get some morning sun to finish coloring up. It'll stay a little bit cooler. So this one's going to go and move, but at least it did color up. I don't know if it has much pumpkin in it, but really I wanted this more for fall decoration than for food. I know some people won't want to hear that, but that's what I wanted this for. So get an orange pumpkin. I'm happy with that. So I'm going to just be picking some apples off of here. This is my Goodland apple tree. I've only had a couple of years where I've been able to pick apples off of it yet. So here's the tree here. I would suspect it's about a dozen years old here. 10, 12 years old in total from the size it was when I bought it, and then it's been here for a few years. And you see down on the ground, the sprinklers ran this morning just a little while ago. I need to adjust that line. I just actually put it in a month ago, and it's way too much for the tree by the looks of things, but there's a few drops on the ground, so I got to get those. And there's some really nice apples really blushing up in the back here, so I'm eager to try them. So we're gonna get some of them off and see what we can get. I'm hoping to use these apples to make my own mincemeat this year, and I've bought a lot of the supplies, and the apples is one of the last missing pieces I have. So when I get back from this next trip that I have, I'll be making some mincemeat with it, and hopefully that turns out to be really good mincemeat, because it's getting harder and harder to find good mincemeat in the stores. And this mincemeat will just be a water bath canner type mincemeat, so it won't be having any suet or anything in it, but it still looks like it has some really good things in it, so I'm looking forward to giving that a try. Wow, that's a lot of apples, and I think I have at least that many still on the tree. So there was more on there than I even imagined. So, and most of them look like really nice apples. I'm excited to give these a try. I haven't had very good success with them. I've had wasps eat them all on me. I've had them all drop before they're ripe some years. I've had them just like go kind of rotten on the trees, even though they didn't seem like they had worms or anything in them. These look, for the most part, pretty good. There's a couple that have a little bit of damage, I suspect from birds actually pecking at them. Most of them have some nice blushing on them, which they're supposed to have. And yeah, I think these are some of the best apples I've gotten yet out of off this tree. I do think this fall, I'll have to look at when the right time to do it is, but I'm guessing this fall is the time. I may top this tree just to make it easier to pick. I've heard that's something you can do, and that might be a good idea for just a little tree for my garden. But I'm gonna look now inside here. I have, if you saw my last video, I had a cauliflower in here that I was trying to just get to hold over while I was gone because I didn't need any more in the house while I was gone. And I just made sure that it was wrapped really well. I put a clip with the leaves up over the head, let it grow a little bit longer, and hopefully it's still good and is at a good mature size and we can pick it. I've noticed that since I've been gone, the flea beetles have come back. Harvesting has begun out in the fields around me, and that always seems to bring the flea beetles back. Now, whether they're coming in from the fields or whether it's just the time of year they're going to pop back up as the nights get cooler, I don't know. But oh, they're all over me. They're all over my netting. They're inside the netting. I can hear them jumping on the. I can hear them jumping on the plants. Ugh, I hate those things. So we get this netting uncovered. So let's see what's happening in here. So here's the cauliflower. Little tiny cabbage worm on it. Some poops. I know there's cabbage worms in here. See this little guy here? Get rid of him. Don't need him. There's another worm. There we go. So yeah, definitely some cabbage worms I've gotten in here. And flea beetles. But I knew those butterflies, if you see my videos last week, I think it was, I was saying that one of my sides of my netting had somehow gotten, so it wasn't covered up well enough and held down well enough. I'm not sure if I didn't put it down properly one day when I was in here or if the wind or something got at it, but so there were some moths in here. So they've done some damage, but cauliflower still looks really nice. Not as big as the last one, but still a really nice cauliflower. We'll take that in. And I see another plant here. It's a cheddar cauliflower. I don't know how well you'll be able to see the color in there, but little baby cheddar cauliflower growing there. So hopefully it's a bit more light and stuff now. Maybe it'll grow better. There's another plant back here that's starting to develop on it. So there's a few more cauliflower to come out of here yet. I'm just going to leave this in here. So actually, I might even just do this. This cheddar cauliflower don't wrap as well as some of the others do, so just get it wrapped right now. Okay, so tomatoes and black beans, zucchini, peppers, lots to do today before I make a quick turnaround and leave again. Not ideal this time of year to be leaving the city so much, but it's how it is sometimes. So here's the tomatoes. And I had a friend come pick a few tomatoes while I was gone, so that was helpful because there's lots on here. Another friend that might come get some today. But look what happened. I don't know if it was windy or the tomatoes just got too heavy, but can you see the stake on that Manitoba tomato broke? It doesn't look like it broke the stem, so I might see if I can get it jammed back in the ground and fixed up, but that was unfortunate. Tomatoes on the ground there. They don't look damaged, so we'll pick some tomatoes, take some of the weight off these stakes, and go from there. beautiful tomatoes in here. These could go a bit longer, so I'm just gonna leave them because I don't need tomatoes right now because I'm leaving. One thing you can do, and I have a video I believe on this, if you have too many tomatoes and you don't have time to process them, which often happens this time of year, is you can actually just cut the stem end out, like just kind of do a little cut around here, take the core and the stem off, or just sometimes I'm really need to be fast and I just slice the stem off. Just put them into freezer bags and freeze them just like that. Wash them, freeze them, and then when you're ready to process your tomatoes, you just pull them out, thaw them, the skins will slip right off, and you can just process them however you want. Obviously they don't have the texture of a fresh tomato because they've been frozen, but they work well if you want to be making some cooked sauces or ketchup or salsas or anything like that. So just something you can do with your tomatoes. I would probably do that with mine, and I might still, but like I said, I have someone that might be coming to get a few today. So if they come pick them up, then I won't, and I'll probably cook a few as supper, but that's definitely something that can be done. Here's a nice basket of tomatoes. Good variety in there, good selection, and not an overwhelming amount. So I am happy with this. There's a few more on there that are fairly colored up, but were definitely good enough to sit for a few more days on the plants. And since that's generally where they store the best, so that's where I'm going to leave them. And like I said, I might have a few friends that want a few of these, and otherwise I will cook a few up tonight, and some probably good to sit on the counter and some might go in the freezer. But yeah, it'd be nice if someone comes by to get them, and then I enjoy sharing my produce, and they'll get tomatoes where their tomato crop didn't do very well this year. So I am going to go through those black beans now, I think, and just see. I know most of them aren't ready, but there were a couple plants looking like they had dried beans on them, so I may as well get those off so I can try and get those shelled today when it's 35 out and I want to be just sitting in the shade. And then I'll go over and check the peppers, and then I think my tour through the garden this morning will be complete. So, oh, zucchini. There's a couple zucchini squash too I need to pick. But yeah, not bad considering I've been away for 4 days. I'm getting a really nice harvest. And I guess I should try and get this guy back in the ground. Oh, that was easy. I wonder if you could stick in more. These wooden stakes are not as good as the metal ones, and I ran out of metal ones. I might have to go see if I have something else to kind of prop this up with before that one breaks too. There's some trellises I haven't used this year. Stand this up. They're a little more under control now. Really, ideally, I'd probably go through and do a bunch of pruning on them, but I just don't have time. So this is going to be what I do. They'll still produce well. They're just going to be a little harder to keep upright and dig around and find the tomatoes on. But that'll work. I do have a mammoth zucchini in here. Let's see if I can get that guy out of there. Allow that guy for supper. So now it looks like, well, these are actually not dry yet, these black beans. Just a couple flukes maybe that either broke off or fell off. But these still have kind of a leathery feeling, so they could go a bit longer till they have almost like a papery feeling to the outside. You can see though how they're changing. Hopefully you can see over here, these are green, so these are definitely not ready. And these, how the beans are really bulged out in them and they're turning color. So they'll get even more of a tan color, and they'll get, like I said, almost like a papery feeling. These almost feel like a leather right now. So when they get to that point, then they're ready to pick. You can pick them now and they'll dry. Some people say they just pull the whole plant up at this point, hang it, dry it, and then shake the beans out. I like the process of picking them and shelling them, so I enjoy doing it that way. But that's another option if you would rather do that. But it looks like they don't actually need to be picked now. I just had a couple, I guess, that had fallen free of the plant and dried up, so it's one less thing to put on my list today. So let's go see the peppers. So I don't actually need peppers for anything, but I noticed this is a sweet lipstick. It's bright red and ready to be picked, so I want to get that picked so it doesn't dry up on the vine. And then, not sure what happened here, but I have a stem that's broken, so I'm going to go and just take all of these peppers and harvest them before they just dry up right on the plant. The sweet lipstick's much tastier when it's at its red stage, as a lot of peppers are, in my opinion anyway, but I'd rather get them and take them. So peppers can also be frozen. You can just freeze them whole like this, or you can slice them up so they're ready to just throw in stir fries and things. Again, obviously these would be for cooked dishes after you freeze them, but they do work well for that. And I have quite a few here, so that's probably what I'll do with at least some of them. But there's still 4 or 5 left on the plant, and I've taken 5 now. And then I'll go through if there's any more really ripe peppers on here. I'll pop those off. I have 5 pots of peppers out here, so I'll pop those off and get them tucked away. Otherwise I'm going to leave anything else, because I just don't need to be processing peppers right now. Can you see in there? There's some beauties in there, but I don't need them yet. Several just turning color. So I'm just going to leave them as they're just turning color right now. They're gorgeous. These little peppers that are all red, these are matchbox chilies. I'll leave them to dry on the plants because I'm just going to grind them up for chili pepper powder and things. Check out that awesome spider. I feel like it's not focusing on the spider, but look at that great spider there guarding my peppers. I need to get past his web though. Cool. Spider's right there. I need to get back there. Sugar Rush Peach ripening in here. It just smells good working by this plant. Since I broke this one, I guess it's breakfast. Don't do this with a ripe one. These are Cheesemans. Just for reference, that's a sun gold. See the size difference? Let's see how they taste. They're pretty good. Not crazy sweet, but they have a good texture and they're sweet. I got a pretty good haul this morning. It's nice when the garden is set up in a way that kind of takes care of itself while you're gone. So I'm very happy. I think you can even see how many tomatoes and peppers, and I grabbed a couple of eggplant as well. I thought these were Black Beauty, but I'm gonna have to look if I bought a different variety this year or if this is just because it's the first one of the year, it's kind of stunted. So I'm gonna have to look up the package on that. I got one zucchini that's just the right size. I might make it for supper, but it's a perfect size for making like some zucchini loaf or something. So it's not too huge, but it'd be probably just the perfect amount. Lots of apples, really happy with that. I got that cauliflower, a couple black beans that I'll shell and get a jar started, and a few cherry tomatoes. I took a container of cherry tomatoes on our last little road trip. It's a great little road trip snack. I don't know, what do you think? Road trip snack? Veggies from the garden? Or would you rather stop at the gas station convenience store for some chips and chocolate bars? I enjoyed these and a few of these as well. Thanks for coming along with me this morning. Hopefully this didn't turn into too long of a video. And we'll see you, I guess, when I get back. So I have lots to share about my last trip. I did a lot of what I think are fun, exciting things that I want to share with you. But that'll have to wait for another day. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye.